glance, it could be mistaken for a barroom brawl taken outside. Rugby's game terminology full of words like scrum, ruck and maul, line out, and back line. And like America's version of football, there are touchdowns. They're worth 5 points. Free kicks count for 3.
I really like this game. Teaches values, puts a guy to the test without killing other people.
You could have fooled me. I mean, these guys look like they're ready to star in Ben-Hur too.
Took a little head to the nostril here.
But you'd be the first to say that you love this game.
Sure, nothing that a little surgery can't fix.
How rough is this game? Just to give you an idea, our photographer was filming on the sidelines. You see this dent? It was caused by somebody's head.
Think I'm kidding, don't you? Well, take a look. Easy up. Don't worry, he survived to play on. Call it a real love for the game. And let's give credit to an understanding support group.
The husbands need the TLC after a game of rugby.
Sure. Lots of TLC. Lots of ego. Honey, you did so good. Great job.
Hearing lots of that tonight, the Severn River and Potomac Athletic Clubs. Enough blood, sweat, and tears from them to earn spots in the East Championships. These ugly pictures are from the summer of '92. Pasadena's Sandra LaPlanche doesn't remember much about the night a drunk driver sent her Camaro into a utility pole. She is well aware, though, of just how close she came to dying.
The priest was already in the hospital. The doctors told my parents the first night, be prepared, we don't plan on her making it.
She did make it, despite a broken neck, jaw, and collarbone. Also a fractured skull and knee. She would have been a major challenge for a MASH unit, but it was no picnic.
There's times I'd go off, I'll say, why am I alive? Why am I going through this pain? And it was hard.
Family, friends, and a deep in her soul desire to live helped Sandra come back from that near-death experience. She also latched on to a dream that fit right in with her rehab plans.
She had dabbled in bodybuilding before the accident, is now in hot pursuit of the Miss Fitness USA title, a 3-step competition that involves oratorical, posing, and light aerobic skills.
The doctor told my family what saved my life was the fact that I exercise regularly, my age, and my very strong will to live. The Miss Fitness USA Finals leads on to world competition. And a lot of people feel that I've already taken on the world just by taking on what I have.
She's got that right. Sandra leaves for the finals in California in 2 weeks. ESPN has plans for national coverage. But this lady's already a hero in these parts. Paul Davis, WBAL TV 11 Sports. You study the faces of wrestlers, they never look happy. Not until their work is done and they've won on the mat.
All right, short sit, pop and cut. His elevation's lower here with pop hips and cut.
That's grappling jargon from Paul Triplett, the man who's seen to it that the Gales have won and smiled plenty the last 7 years. They're currently working on a 34-match in-state unbeaten streak.
The Gales wrestling program took off in the mid-'70s and hasn't slowed down yet. 18 consecutive MSA tourney championships, a win streak that'll be awfully tough to take down.
I don't think there's any real secret to it. We really work hard. We try to outwork our opponents, and we set some really high goals. And these kids come in knowing this tradition, and it raises them up another level.
A cut above the rest this year: Paul Scott at 140 pounds, Dan DeVivo at 171. Big Kenny Hunter, unlimited. Forget the stereotypes, it takes smarts to be successful.
People get the wrong idea, like you're just out there to throw somebody around, tough guy, athlete, jock,
After convincing wins at the Catholic Invite and the Annapolis tourney yesterday, doesn't take a genius to figure this crew's set to dominate again. For almost 10 years, whenever Baltimoreans see the tape replayed over and over and over again of the Colts' move, we have more than one choice word for the company we thought put them on the road headed west. Not fair. Their base here at Baltimore Storage had nothing to do with the late-night coup.
I just didn't think Mayflower could pull it off without us getting some idea that it was happening. I couldn't imagine that, or without, I know a good many people at Mayflower in Indianapolis, one of them even hinting something that, you know, something's going to take place in a few days or tonight or something, but they didn't.
Actually, Mayflower directed trucks in from around Maryland by way of a dispatcher based in Indianapolis. Still, our Mayflower folks bore the brunt of heavy-duty criticism.
For the next, I guess 30 days, we got a lot of phone calls, some of them a little nasty.
They said to somebody, you want to leave when you still have a little snap in your garters, you know. I hope that.
This is a story about football and teaching. Mitch Tulai's love for both. For 41 years, kids at St. Paul's have known him as the history buff who dresses up like Abe Lincoln on the president's birthday, and the coach who knows how to win games.
And what I'm saying really is, look, get out there and do your best. Don't take a backward step. Hey, if we're beaten by a better team, that's no disgrace. But if we're beaten by someone who we have to beat, that really is. That's not very good.
Over 4 decades, Tulai's Crusaders have been very good. 10 championships. Their 5th straight closed out the '93 season. His 208 career wins, second only to Poly's Augie Weibel. But forget the victories. He cherishes the relationships.
It's about as satisfying, I guess, as I could possibly have imagined it. I received just innumerable notes and letters and cards from people. People have called. People from... I've heard from kids who played on a team that might have won one ball game, but he said, hey, I learned so much, and thank you.
At 65, he most surely is the dean of area high school football coaches. He'll teach history one more year, then tackle some long put-off writing projects. His greatest gridiron memory came 8 years ago. The team won his 165th while Coach lay in bed recovering from a heart attack. They dedicated that one to him. As for what his tombstone should read one day...
You know, Harry Truman said something about the piano player. Don't pick on him, he's doing the best he can. Something like that, I think, maybe.
Paul Davis, WBAL TV 11's Operation Football. Year-old Jeffrey Harrison has already made a big splash in Junior Olympics. Now he's shaking up the high school ranks. Just a freshman, he is Loyola's diving star. Has already won 3 straight JV titles.
Diving hasn't always been the love of Jeffrey's life. Years ago, he was a gymnast, but ran into some problems.
He started having a little bit of trouble with his knees. We had a conversation with an orthopedic surgeon who recommended that we try something other than gymnastics, and I guess the closest thing to that was diving.
It's helped me somersaulting. I can spin faster and spot so I know where I am.
Where to find him Monday through Friday afternoons is on the road. Jeffrey travels something like 600 miles a week back and forth to specialized practice in Bethesda. That helps explain his honor roll status.
I easily get 2 hours a day in, just from riding back and forth, like studying and that kind of thing. There's nothing else to do in the car except study.
Opponents who do only a quick study of Jeffrey's physique soon find out the book they judge by its cover is an encyclopedia of talent.
I think it's kind of fun walking around and they like blow me off. But then when I dive or whatever, then they think seriously about it, I guess.
Harrison is already thinking seriously about his future, wants maybe to be a neurosurgeon. For now, his scores in the pool and the classroom make him our scholar athlete in the spotlight.
I'm a fan. I'm a great fan.
You can say that again.
I'm a fan. I'm a great fan.
Seriously, Lewis Ward seems like a permanent fixture at Baltimore sporting events. I mean, every time you turn around, he's there. Be it football, basketball, or baseball. He roots for both the high school and college kids.
Everybody, I support all the kids. I go to Marlboro, I go to Dunbar, Lake Clifton, City. You name it, I'm there. There's 7 days in a week, 7 times, 7. I'm there.
You know, something hit me when talking to Mr. Ward about his in-person sports viewing habits. This guy must spend a fortune every week in general admission tickets.
Actually, Mr. Ward's frequent attendance status has its pluses.
I go to some games, coaches see me and know me and tell me, come on in. Yes, I'm a freelance writer. I write poems, short stories, plays.
Who knows, maybe one day he'll turn out a bestseller about a guy who just can't get enough sports. This is Paul Davis for Operation Basketball. America's historic run on the hockey gold medal in 1980 surely turned more than one youngster onto the sport. It also rekindled hundreds of grown-ups' love for the game once played in their youth. This the typical Thursday afternoon scene at Northwest Arena in Baltimore for almost 8 years now. Former prep, college, and occasionally an ex-pro will show up to play, skate, and shoot.
By the time the over-the-hill gang is through, they'll be a tired and wore-out bunch. It'll take them a couple of days to recover. You know what the great thing about these guys is? They don't even keep score. It's just for fun. You pick up sides. Everybody plays with everybody. It's different every week. So it's just for fun. Nobody cares what the score is.
Hockey, you can continue playing. As long as you got legs, you can keep skating. And then like football, you're going to get beat up all the time. If you play no check like we do, you can just keep on skating.
A fine example of that, big burly Mark Knighton. Should he really be out here?
In football, they got the refrigerator. They call me the icebox, you know. We'll have a heart attack and we'll just haul us off, you know. We're all ready to be cold, you know.
That's why you want to go out, though.
Can't think of a better way, you know.
Trust me, that probably goes for most of these guys. Baltimore and the state of Maryland, for that matter, just loaded with all kinds of football, basketball, and baseball talent. But what about skiing?
You got your first gate here, you got your second gate right here.
On any given day at one of the area's most accessible ski resorts, you'd be hard-pressed to find a high school team honing its skills on the slopes.
We have St. James out of Hagerstown and a few other schools. And we're developing college racing like University of Maryland. We got some Penn State people coming over here to train and work with us too.
Our camera did cross paths with the Mercersburg Academy team based just over the Maryland border. Hey, a nice clean run around the gates can be just as thrilling as hitting a three-pointer at the buzzer.
It's the biggest rush, and it feels really good to be out there. It's nice to go fast and not let anything hold you back.
This particular high school team will have 7 competitions this season. Some of the kids say, with the Olympics on television, they're more focused, more pumped up for practice.
It kind of gets you in the mood. It's fun to watch, and you pick up different things. You kind of see how your form is bad and how you should be skiing.
For these kids, the dream is not to reach the Super Bowl, World Series, or NBA Finals. Rather, maybe, just maybe, pull off an Olympic run like USA's Tommy Moe one day.
Yeah, everyone sort of, they follow the news and watch the Olympics, and everyone wants to be a star downhiller. Might happen someday, but we'll see.
Good luck, Bryce. We'll be watching. Paul Davis, WBAL TV 11 Sports. Snowboarding. It's been the craze here in the States some 10 years now. Here at Whitetail Ski Resort in Pennsylvania, they've tried to make this different breed of downhill skier feel right at home.
The closest thing this mountain has to the Olympics in Lillehammer is this half-pike track. Kind of reminds you of a luge or a bobsled run. The snowboarders just love it.
It's a slick, high-banked 100 meters of packed powder and ice. Those who try it must feel like Olympians after they conquer this bad boy, mere amateurs when it shows them up.
No, I'm kind of happy to be alive here.
Would you like to see snowboarding become part of the Olympics?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And some snowboarders wouldn't mind seeing an obstacle course like this one worked into an Olympic sport one day. It's Whitetail's so-called snowboard park.
Better than riding snow all the time. Rather bang on something else.
Kind of dangerous, though.
Nah, not dangerous. I've never had any major injuries. Just a couple of bruised ribs and broken ankle or two. It's fun, entertaining.
But it's not an Olympic sport yet.
No, but I kind of like it that way. Shouldn't be an Olympic sport. It's more an expression of style and what you want to do.
Believe me, you can't do this without lots of practice. Paul Davis for WBAL TV 11 Sports.
We're going to go to one of those sports.
You got a bending ski right there. That's a perfect turn. That's what I want you to do to going down the hill.
Okay.
Dave Gregg is a pretty good prep and college coach. It helps that he's a pretty fair skier himself. Had a great career competing for the University of Colorado.
My dream was to ski for the U.S. on an Olympic level. I reached a lot further than a lot of people have, but I did injure myself. When I hurt myself, I skied downhill on a national level and I was racing in Europe. I used my head as a pogo stick and injured my lower back. And that got me off skis for about 3.5 years or so.
Right after his Olympic dream got wiped out on that European slope, Gregg found it tough readjusting. Olympic fever can do that to you.
It was a different frame of mind I had to get myself into. It was going from total competition to actually looking forward to different things other than ski racing. You had to broaden your focus, so to speak.
He tried a business world gig for a while, but the snow, the slopes, and the competition beckoned him back. Jumped at the chance to work at Whitetail and volunteered his services to the many teams in training.
Working with kids is fantastic. I never thought I could deal with it because they tend to be a little troublesome sometimes, but I have the same frame of mind they do. I'm just in a bigger body.
He'll help them learn from the Olympics.
I get an adrenaline rush watching it. I know about half the people who are racing. I'm actually taking critical notes in my mind of what they're doing. I'm videotaping it, and I'm playing it back for one of the racers so they can use the Olympians who are skiing right now as a sort of as a guide for what they can do. I'll work with them as far as I can go.
Who knows? Maybe one day David Gregg will be able to take credit for somebody else hearing the national anthem on the Olympic victory stand. Paul Davis, WBAL TV 11 Sports.
Ready? Yeah, get your watch. Ready? Yeah. I'm going. You ready? Ready? Go!
56-year-old Bob Ray will now argue with the suggestion that he is obsessed with running. Actually, it's his life.
I do live just to run, and I run to live, too. It works both ways.
It has worked for the retired mail carrier for some 40 years now. He remembers getting bitten by the bug zipping back and forth to high school up in Pennsylvania. Nowadays, a mini wall of fame in his apartment documents all the success he's had competing. Everything from the 5 and 10Ks to full marathons. But something else drives him now, the streak. Here are the running logs that have kept track of Ray's hobby over the years. Some hobby, it's more like an obsession. Last time he missed a day, 3rd day of April, 1967. In other words, Bob Ray, after this weekend, has a consecutive day jogging streak of 9,805. That's 26 years, 10 months. We're talking more than 70,000 miles logged. Good health has been on his side.
The most serious thing I had was in '82 when I injured my ribs leaning over the back seat of the car getting an ice scraper. It popped. And I had to run 2 miles a day for 3 days. But my minimum is really 4 miles a day.
Think about the weather we've had lately, and Ray's streak is truly amazing.
A personal challenge, really, you know. It's be able to go out and say, I don't care how icy it is, I'll just put on my spikes and take off, and away you go.
I'll call and ask him how many we'll do in a day, like last week during the ice, and he'll say, we got 8 scheduled a day, and if he says we'll do 8, then I'm doing 8, just like that.
I used an old pair of track and field spikes that I had, but they were getting years old, and I wore them out, so now I have a new set ordered in case we get some more.
There's no real positive way to know if Ray's jogging streak is the longest in the U.S. or even the world for that matter. It's enough for him to have the respect of friends and family in Baltimore's running community.
How much longer are you going to do this, you think?
Till I die. They may pick me up on the street, but I'll be doing something I love.
Enough said.
You don't have to be an athlete to go to the Olympics. But, on the other hand, you can't get a gold medal either.
Chevy Chase's Howard Silby may not have a shiny Olympic gold medal to show off, but he's got a wealth of memories to last a lifetime.
Pull your feet up for me. Hard.
2 daughters got him hooked on figure skating. Outstanding credentials as a neurologist landed him a spot as U.S.'s world team doctor 5 times. He parlayed that into a position as team leader physician for America's Olympic figure skating crew 7 years ago.
You're a mother, you're a father, you're a gopher. You fight for them. You are a communicator. You have to intervene between them and the press. You have to make sure that they get the right exposure. You're a PR person, a press agent. You are everything, and you are there to do everything to allow them to skate up to their potential.
USA's 88 figure skating team brought back 3 medals from the Calgary Games, capped the whole thing off with a visit to the Rose Garden and President Reagan. Dr. Silby says it's a time of his life he'll never, ever forget.
I mean, next to my wife and my 2 children and getting my MD degree, that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I just thought that was, God, I mean, that's the ultimate reward.
Things are a whole lot different in the Olympic figure skating community this year. What with the Harding-Kerrigan mess owning the headlines, you'd better believe the good doctor is happy he's no longer involved.
Absolutely. 88 was a perfect Olympics.
And he's got the perfect thing to remember it all with. The videotape he made behind the scenes. Gave a copy to the entire team. Paul Davis, WBAL TV 11 News.
Every single one of us had a special relationship with Gary. We can honestly say that he was our favorite brother.
That favorite brother, Gary Voice, robbed and shot and killed almost 5 years ago downtown. Since then, a Memorial Unlimited basketball tournament in his honor.
Well, we started out with 7 teams in 1990. We started with 7 teams, and it's grown consistently. Most of the teams that come to this tournament tell me and the family that this is one of the best unlimited tournaments in the greater Baltimore area.
This may be a major fundraiser for Gary's surviving son every year, but it's also big-time therapy for the first family he left behind, his dad and his brothers and sisters.
This is therapy in the sense that I know Gary is here with us. If not, he's here with us.
We all kind of work different days and kind of work together in that respect and help my father out. It's good for us to see other people, to remember Gary. We do have a lot of people that ask questions about it, and you know, we can talk about it and feel good about what we're doing, you know, to keep Gary's memory alive.
This year, the Gary Voice Memorial Tourney raised right around $1,000. They're hoping to move into a bigger gym in '95. Interesting how so much good can come out of a senseless tragedy.
When you go through a tragedy, as we went through, it can either make a family or break a family, and I feel it's made our family a lot stronger.
Paul Davis, WBAL TV 11 Sports.
If I call your number out, you need to stay. If you didn't break 4-8, then you need to go ahead and go on home, or you can stay here and watch, but you can't be on the field.
Kind of surprising some of the talent we found on the field prior to the day's first cut. A $25 registration fee, all that was required for Baltimore Cold hopefuls to try and land a spot in training camp. Those who could stay awake long enough.
For a moment, I thought the Redskins lost Art Monk. You're not him?
No, I'm not. I wish I was, but I'm not him.
Spitting image.
Thank you.
And if that guy looked like a famous NFL star, this man's certainly the wide body to throw some folks around. But truth be told, Brian Myers never even played college ball.
Get the impression you feel like maybe you still have something to prove to yourself.
Of course. You always got something to prove to yourself. At 360 pounds, I don't think I did too bad.
Here's a CFL Colt candidate with all the right credentials. Big burly Jeff Sniffen. Graduated from West Virginia in '91. A senior year starter with the Mountaineers on the offensive line. Now he sells health insurance.
This can't be too nerve-wracking for a guy from a big program like you are.
No, it's not nerve-wracking at all. It's just, I've been through this drill a bunch of times and know what to expect, so, I'm used to it.
38. Oh boy, it was Arbutus legend Veets Brosaskis' run at the 40. The construction engineer, one of the elder statesmen at today's tryout. Try 37.
Anybody kidding you about your age? I guess you're not telling anybody except guys like me, right?
No, nobody really asked, I guess. I think I look younger than I am.
No, you look 37 plus to me.
After I told you how old I was.
Head coach Don Matthews says the Colts hope to sign up 80 players for training camp, which starts May 27th. Their game day roster will be some 37 players strong. WBAL's Jane Side Pocket Miller was there. So was Jennifer Rack-em-Up Johnson. A Pro-Am celebrity deal for the visiting stars on the Women's Professional Billiards Tour. One of the big-name players here this weekend, Laurie John Jones. She is the reigning tour champ, picked up the game when she was 4, won a world championship at 15. That put her in the Guinness Book of World Records. Kudos to the parents for getting her started.
We had a pool table in our basement, and that's how it always starts. And I started playing pool, and my dad taught me the basics.
How long did it take you after you started at the age of 4 to when you could beat all the guys?
6.
Laurie hauled in a whopping $65 grand last year on the tour, that while juggling a career as a mom.
I have a little 2-year-old boy, Jonathan, and my husband's my coach. So when he's napping or going to bed at night, my husband works with me. It's a woman's sport as well as a man's sport, and it's not a dirty sport.
Whether she wins the Baltimore Classic or not, Laurie can sure woo him with the trick shots.
You go. Going.
That I've heard, but I don't like to listen to it or read it. I just, because as I said earlier, you start believing you're that good when you're in trouble.
Zach Thornton's been nothing but trouble for Loyola opponents all season. If anybody's got an excuse for a big head, it's him. 16 shutouts, more than anybody else in the USA. He broke the Greyhound single-season mark of 13 2 weeks ago.
What's the secret to being as good as you are? Oh, jeez. I don't know, just going out every day and working hard. I think that's about it.
Zach can't say enough about his defense, but admits he does have a shortcoming in their eyes.
Nah, I don't say much. You can ask my defense, they get mad at me because I don't say very much.
All right, so this goalkeeper's kind of shy, keeps his trash talking to himself. That's during the regular season. Come the summertime, it's a whole different story. The Edgewood native works as a trash man.
That was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. Me and a couple of my friends. You gotta get up early, pays well.
We always hear what a gravy job being a trash man is.
Oh, it's not gravy, no way. You got a lot. It's like 800, 900 stops sometimes in a day. It's tough. Can like 50 pounds a can. It's not easy.
Now the clincher, the land's stingiest goalie, says hauling trash has bettered his skills in goal.
It does. Like I've gotten stronger and bigger from lifting the cans all the time. Quick on your feet, because constantly on and off the truck.
Just remember, you heard it here first. As for parental approval on Zach's summertime habit,
my mom just makes sure I take my gloves and my shoes off before I get in the house.
Sam and Elsie's restaurant in Laurel is known for its red-hot chili and 2 hands required burgers. But today at lunch, patrons hungered for a bite into the hot topic of the Redskins' plans for a stadium in their backyard. A petition some 1,000 names strong was turned over to the brand new CPSL. That's Citizens for a Planned Stadium in Laurel. What can names on a piece of paper really do for the project?
I think that petitions have a great impact with regard to displaying the broad base of support. People that are not willing to show up and testify, people that are not willing to come out for rallies, etc., but they will sign a petition.
They'll also go out in public wearing their feelings and opinions on their sleeves and heads. No naysayers at this meal.
It will be bringing more people to the community and will not only help my business, but every business in the area.
Travelers down Route 1 will have no problem figuring out where Sam and Elsie stands on the Redskins Stadium issue. This thing is going up on the roof. Paul Davis, WBAL TV 11 News.